What should you do if you get a bad review or a refund request? This happened to me recently and I learned a lot from it, and I want to share what I learned with you and hopefully and give you 5 tips that hopefully will help you if this happens to you. If you don't stick around for the whole video, I hope you'll at least listen to the first 2 because I think they are the most important. Hello everyone, my name is Sherry from Rolling Acres Education. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. And as I said, about a week and a half ago, I got my first bad review. Other than that one I shared about where I forgot to upload the entire product and got a 1-star review, but I fixed that and the lady corrected her and she gave me 5 stars. So other than that, I got my first 2-star review. Now I have gotten a 3-star review before, which I wasn't real happy with, but the lady still liked the resource and it's still considered satisfied. Real quickly, 5-star means you're extremely satisfied, 4 was very satisfied, 3 is satisfied, 2 is somewhat satisfied, and I think 1 is not at all satisfied. And so 3 and up means that the person was satisfied with your resource. So 3 is still good. You can, you know, a few 3s doesn't really hurt you that bad, but you really want those 4s and 5s. So when I get a thing that says, oh, you got a new review on a product, I get sick to my stomach, even though, you know, I've yet to have a really bad review, and I'm always like, oh, this is going to be bad. I know it. Well, this time it was. It was a 2-star review, and it was on a bundle. I want to say right now, this video is not to criticize the woman who left me the review. I want to share as little about that as I can because I don't want to sound like, you know, I am doing this to make her look bad or anything like that. I just really want to help you. I learned a lot from this, and I want you to not do some of the things that I did do, okay? So, number 1, this is the most important. If you've been on Teachers Pay Teachers any length of time, you're going to get a bad review, most likely, overwhelmingly. I'm telling you, the cream of the crop people that are making tons of money on Teachers Pay Teachers have shared that they got a bad review. Some of them deserved, some of them not deserved, okay? And either one is okay. It's going to happen. You can benefit from both and learn from both. Just make sure you react correctly. And that's, just remember, people who are making a lot of money on Teachers Pay Teachers at one time got a bad review. They didn't quit, they kept going, okay? Number 2, and this one and number 5 are the hardest. Don't let your emotions take over, okay? Don't get so emotional that you say something or do something that you'll later wish you hadn't, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in number 3 and 4, but the most important thing is don't go emotional and then say something to the seller or whatever that you're going to later regret. Take a step back. Don't answer right away, okay? If you're really upset over it, especially if you think it's unfair, do not respond right away if you're very emotional, okay? I know the tendency is, oh, I want to take care of this right away, you know, and so you jump in and you say something maybe you shouldn't, or you do something maybe you shouldn't. So take a step back, take a deep breath, and then go back to number 1, okay? Step back. Okay, this happens to everybody. And when I said that these big sellers got a bad review, what I should have said is they've gotten bad reviews, not just one, okay? When you've sold as many products as they have, you're going to get bad reviews, okay? So it happens. Don't let your emotions take over. Number 3, always be gracious. No matter what that other person says or does, you be gracious, because don't forget, other buyers can see these reviews and they can also see what you say. So you want to appear as being gracious, being confident, okay? Even if it is deserved, just, you know what, you're correct, and I, you know, thank you for showing me that, and I'm going to be I'm going to correct that, and I'm going to use that. I mean, just make it sound like, oh my gosh, you know, you're so helpful. I'm so grateful that you gave me this bad review, you know, because I learned. Because other sellers are reading that, and sellers can see what they're saying and what you're saying. So always be gracious, thank them for the review. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. You can say, but I respectfully, disagree, I blah, 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 okay? So just be gracious. If, your first few, you might even want to have someone else read it for you before you post it. Does this sound okay? That's one of the benefits from being in a private Facebook group is because you can go to these people and say, look, this is what happened. Did I do this correctly? Because sometimes when you're a public one, it may sound like you're complaining and people be like, what's your problem and all that. But when you're in a group of people that know you, especially a small private Facebook group, they can be so helpful. They can be like, this is what I would have said when I handled this way. And that can be so helpful. So you may want to just step back and say, ask somebody, do you think this is okay? Did I answer this correctly? But always be gracious. Thank them for the review, and then say what you feel you need to say. And always remember that other buyers are going to be able to see that not only what they said, but what you said, okay? Number 4, realize that does not mean you have a bad product or that you're a bad seller or whatever. That one review does not reflect on your whole store or even on that product. I'm just going to tell you, that product that woman criticized has been my fastest seller. I mean, I posted it on September 19th, and it's already at way up there on my money makers. I mean, it has made me a lot of money in less than a month. And so it's obviously a good product. No one else has complained about it, and people keep buying it. I have a very high preview to sold conversion rate on that product, a very good overall conversion rate. And I'm not saying this to brag. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying this to brag because all my products aren't like this, but that product is very successful. Now, if they did give some legitimate criticism, then go in and fix it and go on. I talk about this in my, your anniversary video. It's okay. Things happen. You just have to say, okay, I'm not going to quit. I made a mistake. I didn't do so well, but I'm going to correct it. I'm going to learn from it. And tell the buyer that. Thank you for this information. It's going to help me be a better seller, okay? Number 5 is so difficult, but you've got to do it. Number 5 is don't dwell on it. Do you know that for 3 days, I let that eat me up? I was just like, oh my gosh, this product's horrible. Are all my products bad? Maybe they're bad and people just aren't telling me, and blah, 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 blah. And I had all these 4 and 5-star reviews, and when I get a 5-star review, I'm like, oh, yay, that's great, and I love it for the moment, but I don't think a lot about it, okay? I don't think a lot about what that person said. I appreciate it, and it means a lot to me, but I don't dwell on it. But then you get this bad review, and it's all you can think about, okay? You have 45 4 and 5-star reviews, and you've got this 1 2-star review, and instead of dwelling on those 4 and 5-star reviews, you're thinking about this 2-star review. And we do that. We see all these good things, and we dwell on the bad. And so maybe you need to go back. If you have good reviews, go back and read those. Let it go. I'm sitting here as I'm saying this. I know it's so hard because I couldn't let it go. I'm embarrassed about how much I thought about that review. Even after Teachers Pay Teachers took it off and they agreed that it wasn't legitimate, even though I can go look at all these conversion rates and everything, I'm still like, maybe they're right. Maybe they were right. Maybe I shouldn't have, blah, blah, blah. So even though it's hard, let it go. Just let it go. Now, I gave the lady a refund. And this is kind of a little bonus. This isn't really a tip. I just want to tell you what I did. I gave her the refund. I gave her a refund for an entire bundle because she didn't like one sentence in one product. And I did that because I reacted. I was like, thank you for your review. And I was gracious, but I was like, if you want a refund, I'll give it to you. And here's the problem though with that is some people buy products. Now, I'm not saying this woman did. Don't get me wrong. She was very particular about what she didn't like about that product, so I'm not thinking that that's what she did. But people can buy your products and then try to get a refund, okay? Find anything they can and try to get a refund. And so I gave her 5. There's nothing I can do. She had those resources. She could have downloaded every one of them and then asked for a refund, and now she's got all 5 of my products that I spent a lot of time on for free. Some people do this and because they want to steal your work, okay? A minor number of people, small number of people. Most people, I choose to believe, are honest. But so don't just jump in there and give a refund, because you just need to make sure that that's what you think you should do, what is best for your business. I'm okay with it. Here's the funny thing. I gave that refund. I went to Teachers Pay Teachers. I said, look, this woman wants a refund. I'm going to give it to her. Can you take care of it? They did. The very same day that I got that refund was instated, within a few hours, somebody bought that very same bundle again. I felt like it was God saying, okay, here it is. Get over it. Move on. And I did. So, number one, realize everybody gets them. Everybody gets bad reviews. Some deserved, some not. Number two, don't let your emotions take over. You might need to step back before you respond or make a decision about what to do. You may want to go to other people and say, you know, how should I handle this? And just make sure that you're not doing something based on emotion instead of logic and common sense. Number three, always be gracious. Remember that other people can see what you say, and you want to come off as being very gracious, very thankful, and willing to learn. Number four, realize that does not mean that your product is bad, that you're a bad seller, that you're not going to make any more money, nobody's ever going to buy anything from you again, okay? You may still have a great product that just one person didn't like. It's okay. And number five, don't dwell on it. Don't let it get you frustrated. Move on. If you have to go back and read some of your good reviews, you know, whatever you have to do to get over that, all right? It's going to happen. And just remember that you've got this, God's got you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.